Stories of Yesterday's West by a man who really lived it. Harry Webb. I reckon most old timers have heard Charles Russell tell about the time he and Jack McLaughlin were coming from town one time so drunk they lay down and took a snooze, only to wake up and see their horses hightailing it and a bear coming at them on the prod. There was a small cave close by, and Charles ducked in that while Mac went up the tree, but Charles was no sooner in the hole till he came out. "Stay in the hole," Mac yelled. "Stay, hell," Charles said. He made a jump for the tree. "There's an old she in there with her cubs. She sure don't like company." Now, if you think these fellows were in trouble, just listen to the predicament Soapy Smith got himself into. We were pretty sure Soapy Smith wasn't his right name, but he claimed to be an ex-river rat and was tough and ornery enough to be one, so we didn't dispute his word. Soapy was our cross-eyed cook at an anchor ranch on Elm Creek, where no one gave a hoot who anybody was. So let's listen to Soapy's bear story, even though he maintained his eyes had become permanently crossed by running a drill bore hole through macaroni while working in a macaroni factory. Soapy Smith goes on to say, "I was out hunting one day and the medicine bow trying to get myself a deer. As I was out of a job and me and the missus were getting pretty lank for the want of grub. Anyway, as I was saying, I was hunting me a deer and was slipping along easy like through the timber, sort of like an Injun does, and coming to a black log. I stepped up on it. Take a look around. Oh my goodness. 'Twasn't a log. It was a whopper of a bear taking a sleep. Leastwise, I suppose he must have been napping, but he came awake faster than a streak of lightning, and it left me straddle him. That bear was on his feet so fast I didn't know what happened as he bounded off through the timber. But it ain't no wonder in half a dozen wild jumps he unloaded me in a heap. Now you think after a scare like that a bear wouldn't quit running till he was in the next country. But not that bear. As he came at me I put a bullet in him, but it didn't faze him. Then a shell jammed, so I socked him in the head with a gun barrel. Might as well have hit him with a rock. Then he rears up on his hind legs and with one swipe knocked my rifle 20 feet and made another swipe at my face, only missing me by an inch. I knowed there was no use trying, outrunning him in a network of down timber, so it was a case of fight. I'd heard a bear hugs you to death, but that varmint wasn't that sort of gentleman. Seems he preferred standing up like a prize fighter and clawing me to pieces. Managed to yank out my skinning knife. We went at it, and I'm betting that old bear's claws was a foot long. Every swipe he made, I'd lose a piece of shirt, trousers, and plenty of hide and meat. I was sure he was killing me, an inch at a time, but I says, "Yeah, you son of a biscuit, if it's a fight you want, I'll give you one. But I'm betting you're gonna get yourself a square meal and I'll be getting me a sandwich." In no time we both was a mess of blood, 'cause my sheath knife was getting in some pretty good jabs in his guts and in his neck. I reckon we must have fought till all of an hour. Well, maybe no longer than half an hour, but without so much as a breathing spell it seemed like an hour. I was all but tuckered out to a whisper when my knife happened to go right into his gizzard or some vital spot. Anyway, he tumbled over right on top of me. Deader than a fire-killed tree. Huh? Hell no. I didn't skin me out no steak. What the hell you fellas trying to do? Make out I'm lying? I was lucky to be alive. Fact is, I was barely able to crawl home. What'd my wife say? What the hell do you think she would say? She says, "Lord Jim, she says, Lord God, Soapy, what happened?" I says, never mind the pulver. Just get over it. Adam's mill and fetch me some help. Listen, Pecos, never mind waving that cup at me. I'll fetch that pot when I'm finished. No, it ain't no damn life or any other kind of lie. You just ask Ralph Adams. Ask him about me and that bear. Well, come to think of it, no use. Ralph's dead. But two o' Ralph's crew still around. Just ask them. They can tell you how they drug me and packed that bear in. Funny part was, we later found out Soapy had been telling the truth for at least once in his life. The drilling holes in macaroni was an awesome excuse for being cross-eyed. Totally believable. Your thoughts on the art of telling stories or tall tales? Is it a lost art? I guess there were fact checkers back then, but people enjoyed listening to a good tall tale rather than being annoying by fact checking every detail. And people had a passion for what happened. And you kind of understand. You lose time, you're afraid, adrenaline is up. You don't know what's going to happen to you. So you show your passion by embellishing a little bit.
Throw the canoe in there.
No, I don't think so. Beep, 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 beep. Metal detect, beep, 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 beep.